Tesla is finally expanding to China. This has been years in the making. This is going to matter. This is going to be big for China. For China, no, not so much for China. For really for Tesla. And there are a few other news, including solid-state batteries, the Model 3 news, and of course I'm gonna do a comment of the day. So another busy news day. Let's get going with all of this coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world,
Welcome to the show. For those of you who are watching me live on Patreon, that's one of the perks of being a Patreon and supporting the show. Thank you to those of you guys who contribute. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you get to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars. And it's always very exciting. Okay. Tesla is officially signing the agreement with the city of Shanghai. The city of Shanghai. I got a great picture that I took myself when I was there last month. Really amazing trip. And that's where Tesla is going to build its Gigafactory 3. This is a third factory that Tesla is going to build. Most likely Model 3 and Model Y production will be moved there, and some battery production is going to be moved there as well. So, but here's what it means for Tesla really. Like, let's be honest. The tariff war, we don't know what's going to happen with that. We know the tariff on cars went from 25%, which was a lot, to 15%. That's where China was, getting along with our president, but now it went all the way to 40%. And as I reported yesterday, the price of some Teslas in China just went up by up to almost 40,000 American dollars, which is insane. So now, as you guys may or may not know, in order to make cars in China and avoid the tariff, any outside company had up until now to join forces with a Chinese-based company and therefore share trade secrets and so forth, which is a big issue in China for some manufacturers. And of course, share the profits and so forth. All other companies are pretty much doing it. BMW, Mercedes, pretty much everybody. And BMW just announced they're going to be making their all-electric minis in China also as a joint venture. Now, but Tesla kind of waited everybody out because they just wanted to own their factory 100%, avoid tariffs, basically have it all. And as the trade war was starting, China committed to allowing the foreign manufacturers to build the factories in China fully owned in a trade-free zone, and the first manufacturers are going to be allowed to do that are the ones that are building all-electric cars, which obviously Tesla is. So they have finally agreed to this. Tesla is moving there. Well, not moving, expanding really. Obviously, they're going to keep the factories in Fremont and Nevada. They kind of need them still. So this is huge. And as you know, Tesla sold what, $2 billion worth of cars in China last year, about what, 15,000 units. So that's a big market. It's expanding. Everybody knows that China is really just a leader right now for one of the most friendliest environments and biggest environments for the electric cars. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty big. Of course, they have a lot of things to do, get the suppliers, get the actual factory up. Elon is saying that they're going to be able to produce cars in 2 years. Listen, I mean, that would be great. Doesn't seem realistic, and therefore I'm not gonna believe it until I see it. I don't think Elon ever met his time deadline. But hey, listen, I think a lot of you guys have consistently put in the comment section that, hey, you guys like the aggressive goals that he sets. Even though he never meets them, they're so aggressive, it just pushes the company to move faster overall. The higher you aim, the higher you jump, I guess, and so that's fine. He says 2 years, I say 3 to 4, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's move on to other news. Before that, of course, I want to let you guys know, if you don't already, this show and this channel is sponsored by Avanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. There is a discount code in the description of this video, so you guys can save yourself a few bucks. All right, let's talk about solid-state batteries. And I've been exploring this topic for a while on my show. As you can see, this was my interview with Henrik Fisker a few months ago, where he exclusively announced on my show, which was pretty cool, that he is planning on putting solid-state batteries in his Motion car right there. and he's delaying it now a little bit. Originally 2020 was the year, but so maybe 2021 right now. Still very aggressive, and other companies little by little started, you know, talking about it. But now Hyundai is invested in a company called let's see, Ionic Materials. They're investing in that company. They make solid state batteries. And then also Mercedes announced today, as they were announcing the new all electric bus, which I didn't think was that exciting, less than 100 miles really in range, but good for them though. They also said that they're going to be putting solid state batteries in that bus soon. Didn't say how soon, and they're still lithium ion solid state batteries, so it's kind of in between, but nevertheless, two solid state battery related news today, so that's pretty cool, and we'll see where this whole thing goes. But I'm excited. This is, you know, once that technology is here, that's going to change so much in terms of charging technology, range, and pretty much all the issues that people always sort of struggle with when it comes to electric cars and charging and range and so forth. All right, Model 3. As you know, the configurator was open for all reservation holders, a couple of weeks ago, but now Tesla announced that they are opening the configurator for everybody. So if you're even making a reservation, you can already configure your car and sort of get an estimated date. This is still for North America. I know I keep saying that because they're really just not doing business outside of US, Canada right now as far as Model 3 is concerned, but they're opening that up. You know, this is, people are concerned. Some reservations holders are a little concerned because some have been waiting for 2 years. And it feels like they might get their cars within the same month or couple of months if the configuration is of a certain level, and that kind of sucks for them. I guess they kind of landed, you know, $1,000 interest free to Tesla, and then really the result is very similar to somebody who goes like, oh, Model 3, I just heard of it, let me reserve it, and boom, they can get it in the same month. But hey, listen, it is what it is. I just heard some concerns. I personally think that, you know, we know how Tesla does business as far as how they're rolling out this production, as far as the cost, the configuration, the location, geography, and so forth. So this is not really surprising. I think everybody who was putting their name on the configuration list the first day, including myself, knew that this is going to go exactly like this. By the way, I don't know why speaking of reservations, going back to Hyundai, probably should have mentioned it at that time. Hyundai Kona EV, something that a lot of people are looking forward to, a 250-mile range for the longest range battery. They've also opened the reservation list in Canada now, not here in the United States. Kind of weird, but in Canada. So if anybody who wants this car, you guys better get on it, because the production is going to be low volume at first. A lot of people are going to want it. It's under 40,000 American dollars for the extended range. Even well, after, yes, but after the incentives, assuming your geography allows you for one of, you know, $7,000 to $10,000. A little bit on the pricier side. I thought maybe it should have been priced a little bit less, but nevertheless, great range, great looking SUV, compact SUV, something that a lot of people really need. They can't wait for the Model Y, or that would be their sort of a waiting period car for the Model Y. So yeah, definitely I'm looking forward to it. Kia Niro EV is also coming out with a bit of a smaller range, but still I'm looking forward to that one, considering that myself actually. So yeah, great news. People in Canada can now make reservations. That are probably super happy because it's always there's a second one after us, but now we have to wait and get in line after them. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's move on to comment of the day. First, let's talk about this one from Jim, who just, I think this is just a general conversation about Tesla innovating where everybody else, all other manufacturers are following. And a lot of times when I have a guest on the show and we talk about, you know, what the state of electric cars is right now, a lot of times I ask a question, hey, which manufacturer do you think is going to catch up to Tesla and be the Android to the iPhone that Tesla is? And I guess this comment is about that. And Jim is asking, who will be the automaker that really goes out and changes the game in EVs other than Tesla? Well, here's my answer. Nobody. Tesla has already changed the game, right? I mean, they just dragged everybody into the world of electric cars. And now not only are the manufacturers turning around, oil companies are turning around, governments are turning around, and really paving everyone's ways into the future of electric cars slowly, but surely just reported on Great Britain, just coming up with a, what, 46-point plan on how to completely eliminate gas car sales by 2040, and a lot of other countries are targeting even 2030 with that same strategy. So yeah, Tesla has already done the innovation, and they have changed the game. Now the question is, who can play that game better than Tesla, right? But no one's changing the game. There's not much to change yet. Solid state batteries will come in, and it could be a different manufacturer and not Tesla, which probably is going to be the case. You know, the cars will get better in other different ways, but the game is already set by Tesla. So yeah, the answer to that question is nobody. Tesla has done it. Huge kudos to them, and that's why I absolutely love that brand with all the criticism that I send their way. They are the pioneers. All right, here's another one, and this is not so much a comment, but another Patreon, Ashley Hill. Not only she was already contributing $10 to the show a month, which really the highest level you can get is $5. And that's where you get to see everything, all my pictures, videos. You get to watch me live, like people are watching me right now. But she actually opted to 20. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. As you guys know, I am moving to Sacramento. I just did a video about the fact that I'm doing it, so I can at some point go full-time with the show, and I'm definitely considering Patreon as, you know, hopefully one of the main sources of income, because this is coming from you guys, the viewers, and supporting the show. So Ashley, thank you so much for already supporting the show, but now doubling your already generous donation. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to support the show, make sure that I continue doing this daily and stay independent from corporate sponsor, maybe even. Patreon.com/E4Electric, and the description has the link to that. So thank you so much for that. Okay, that's it for me today. You know, of course, I will see you tomorrow. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.